Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this pretty quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can turn an old vintage quilt into some adorable Easter eggs. We're going to embellish them. I'm going to show you what I put on the back. We're going to stuff them. I'm going to tell you all about this type of a quilt. So, as you are hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. Okay, so we probably will be using some of my vintage buttons. We probably will be using some of these teeny tiny little vintage doilies that I picked up at an antique mall. We might be using some little flowers. That is an option. I don't think we will. You could use lace, but I'm going to use a strip of what we're putting on the back. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. This is what is called a cutter quilt or cutter's quilt. Okay, this quilt, I believe the lady who sent it to me told me that it was made by her grandmother and her great-grandmother. It's a beautiful quilt, but it is totally disintegrating. And so, rather than just toss the whole thing, people will use these kind of quilts to make crafts, to make pillows, to make stuffed teddy bears, to make stockings for Christmas, all kinds of things. And I love that. I love the idea of not just throwing something away, of figuring out how to repurpose it. So, and I believe it was Anne. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I believe it was Anne that sent me this one. I do have a couple others, but we're going to use this one today. And we're going to try to pick spots that have a little bit different patterns going on. Okay, so the one I just showed you is going to be in the center. And this was my pattern. I made it out of computer paper. I folded it in half and I just kept cutting until I landed on something that I thought was sort of an egg shape. So it's 6.5 inches tall and 5 1/4 wide. I'm just telling you this because I know someone will ask, but you can make your eggs absolutely whatever size you want. Okay, so then I laid this on a piece of quilt and I cut it out. And then what we're using on the back to line these, because I don't want to use a quilt on the front and the back when the back won't really be seen. We're going to use some white canvas duck. And yes, you can purchase white, not that oatmeal creamy color that I love so much. You can purchase white canvas duck at pretty much any fabric store. I think this white came from Hobby Lobby, and I probably got it when it was on sale. Okay, so what I have done, I'm going to take you through all the steps, is I've just pinned a piece of white to it. We'll come back to this one in just a second. And I'm going to roughly cut around it. It doesn't have to be exact because I can trim it after I glue it. And maybe you're wondering to yourself, so what the heck do you do with these? People ask me those kind of questions all the time. I'm like, there's nothing to do with them. They're just cute. They're just fun. These could be added to some kind of a wreath for Easter. They could go in a dough bowl with some things like pine cones or rattan balls or eggs, or whatever you want. So that's what you can do with them. But they don't have a specific thing that they accomplish other than just making me happy and being a way to repurpose this amazing old quilt in the places on the quilt where it was not completely falling apart. Okay, so let's do the next step. And then we'll cut out this one. And then we'll do that one. Okay, so the next step is that you want to glue your pieces together. And I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to glue it together on the quilt, okay? If you have a sewing machine, it would be even better for you to sew your two pieces together, because that kind of holds the quilt all together. But you can accomplish this project with hot glue. Let me grab some more hot glue. I am using my Sherbander Cool Shot today. It's a low temperature hot gluing device. I have had way too many hot glue burns over my lifetime of being a crafter, and I just am not willing to even take that chance anymore, so I pretty much always use this. It's a Cool Shot. It's about $10 or less. You can get it at any craft store. Okay, so you can see where I really didn't do a very good job cutting this out. I'm just going to fix that real quick. We're going to embellish these stuff on all of that. So I left one corner of this adorable Easter egg open. I didn't glue it shut. What do you guys think? I thank you so much for all the suggestions, because this morning I posted something saying that I felt like doing some crafts with some of these vintage quilts, and you guys gave me a ton of great ideas, and so I just opted for the easiest one today, but I have enough quilts to do lots more projects, so we'll keep going with this idea. All right, I'm grabbing my Stuff and Fluff, which is from a pillow from Walmart. When I went to get my polyfill, they did not have any. So I just grabbed a firm pillow that was around $6. And I just cut the corner open. And I'm just stuffing this. You can make these as full or not as you want. It's totally personal preference. I know I say that on every video, but it's true. So I see lots of people on. Yay. If you don't have a vintage quilt, you can accomplish the exact same thing just using some fabric that you love. Some pattern fabric, or you could even do denim. Or you could, make these out of burlap. I mean, there are so many different things that you could make these Easter eggs out of. Okay, so I just glued that corner shut. I missed a spot right there. It's not perfect, but shoot, it is adorable. So this is one. The first one I made is right here. And this is a little bit smaller. No, this is the same size. Actually, I have two that are a little bit smaller. Okay, so we'll come back and embellish them. But let's cut this one out, and we'll keep going. And I just laid them on this quilt over the areas that had some interesting stuff going on, and that weren't completely shredding and having the inside batting coming out. Or not too bad anyways. I personally, I don't know how you feel about working with something like this. I would so much rather do a craft with something that has history than do a craft with something brand new. I've always been that way. Let me tell you a funny story while I'm cutting this out. Okay, when I was about 12 or 13, my family moved, and my mom gave my sister and I some money to get new bedroom furniture, because we had had the same little white bedroom furniture since we were little teeny kids. And so even at that age, I loved antiques. My mom loved that kind of stuff too. So I tell you what, I purchased a beautiful wrought iron metal bed that I repainted. And I purchased a buffet, a big, beautiful buffet. And I still have both of those things. The buffet is in my dining room. The bed is in the basement. But my sister, she went a different route. She got one of those big, brown, clunky water beds. And within 5 years, it was in the dump. So I just have always, it's going to be hard to get the, sometimes in the spots where it's really thick, it is hard to get your needle to go through, your pen. Anyways, I've always liked things that are old and have history. Okay, let's cut this out real quick. So if you just hopped on, this is white canvas duck, and this is a vintage cutter quilt that we are repurposing rather than putting it in a landfill, because it really was not in any kind of usable condition. And I believe it was my friend Anne who gave it to me, but I couldn't swear on my life on that. Anyways, if it was you, Anne, thank you. When she sent it to me, I made something else. Let's pull this down. This is one of my favorite little pieces. I made this 2 years ago. It's very dusty. This is just one of those two-sided glass frames. And these are different pieces of the same quilt with a little blue button in the center. Isn't that sweet? And I have had this hanging on my wall here ever since. It's one of my all-time favorite things. You can also make some really sweet brooches to go like on a denim jacket or on a hat using vintage quilts. You don't have to stuff them. I just stuff everything because I love stuffies. Okay, so let's glue this puppy. And then I have another one that is ready to go that is small also. It's right here. Depending on how long it takes to dress these up, I might do that off camera so you're not sitting around waiting. Okay, so I'm just going to put the glue on the back of the egg towards the edge. And then I'm pressing my white canvas duck into it. I do think this white canvas duck most likely came from Hobby Lobby. That's what I'm remembering. But if you can't get it there, I have not seen it at Walmart. I'm guessing they probably have it at Joann's because they have a big fabric department. Or if they don't, you can probably order some on Amazon. And let me tell you what you want to pick. You want to choose a canvas duck that is 8 or 10 ounces. That means it's really tightly woven and it's thick and it's kind of sturdy. You don't want a super thin one that might be 4 or 6 ounces. I've gotten that before and I don't like it as much as the heavier, stiffer stuff. But you can buy anything on Amazon. So you can also try on Etsy. You can buy these cutter quilts on Etsy. I know that for sure. Okay, let's stuff this one. I just left a corner open. I think these will, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Do you guys have some suggestions? If you do, please tell me. Okay, let me grab a little bit more. And the reason why I chose this white canvas duck is because the background on this quilt has white, not ivory. So that's why I chose it. I was wishing that I had some good white lace to tie around their tummies, but I don't. I always buy this awesome lace at Dollar Tree, but it mostly only comes in ivory. So I just improvised and used some of this canvas duck that I tore. Oh, so cute. I mean, I might even make the next one. This one I might come back and cut it even a little bit smaller. So I think I'll wait to finish this off camera. My goal was to have 3 that could go together, or you could do 5, or you could just do one big one. It's up to you. So what I did was I took a strand of the white canvas duck that I just snipped and tore, and I'm putting it around this little belly and kind of tying it off to the side. You don't have to embellish these any further if you don't want to, but I thought they were sweet when they had a little something happening. Okay, and I'm going to put a little blob of glue underneath that. Pull this side down. Okay, and then I showed you at the start of this video that I have a bunch of lace pieces. I bought it at one of those antique festival things several years ago. They're all different, but these are white. And my thought was to glue that over the little spot like I did with this one, and then to add a button. What do you guys think about that idea? I mean, I have to include buttons in pretty much every craft project that I do. I think that's what we'll do. Just put a little teeny bit of glue there. Okay, and I don't know if you have like a bag of little pieces of flowers that you haven't used the whole thing, if that's normal or not, but I do because I don't throw anything away. So I just combined some little pieces from this bag to make this cute little doodad, and that would be pretty sweet. Maybe we'll do that, to glue that on there. Okay, I'm going to do what you guys tell me to do. Should I do this and then maybe just do one little flower on each of the other 2? Can you see that? Without my finger holding it down. Or should I do a button? Okay, so let me see what your, the first one of those 2 selections to have 5 people say it is what I'll do. Flowers or buttons? Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Okay, I see 1 flowers, and 2 flowers, 3 flowers, 4 flowers, 5 flowers. Okay, and no votes for buttons. Wow. I guess I'll put my vintage collection of mother of pearl buttons away for now, and let's build some little flowers. So I'm going to glue this one on this larger one. Kind of going sort of off to the side. I'm gluing it over the top of this little doily or little lace piece. Oh, that does look really sweet. What do you guys think? Okay, so let's grab like a purple or a pink. Let me see. This is a pretty one. This is a Dollar Tree flower. I'm not loving that. I know I have like 5 more bags of little flowers, but they're not handy. I might want purple. Nope, I think pink. Okay, so I'm just going to glue one flower on this one. Look how sweet that is. What do you guys think? So I have one more to do. And I think I will finish this one that's going to go with this set off camera. And then I have 2 more that are ready to decorate that are the larger size. But look how fun these 3 are going to be together. So next up, we'll do buttons, or we'll try something different next time, and we'll probably do another shape. I'm thinking that we might do a bunny, and I might sew it. So with my sewing machine and white thread, just to hold the quilt together before I hot glue it onto a pillow or something like that. Tanya says her mother loved purple flowers. I loved purple as a little girl. In fact, don't think I'm super classic by wanting to buy a antique buffet and an antique metal bed for my bedroom furniture. I also had a lavender-ish, purplish fur bedspread on my bed. So it was a combination of cheesy-ola purple fur that was popular in the 70s and then my beautiful antiques. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I am going to be live again today, so be watching for that. I will finish these up and get pictures. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, let me just review. You can buy white canvas duck if that's what you want to use. You can buy it at pretty much any fabric store. Get the heaviest weight that you can. You can get little teeny flowers at Dollar Tree. This is what is called a cutter quilt. And you can buy these on Etsy. You can probably buy pieces on Amazon. Sometimes you can find them in antique stores and antique malls. Or you might just ask around or look through your cabinets, because maybe you have something that's completely falling apart and that really just needs to go to the dump. But you could repurpose it and make something really sweet. And then you need hot glue and a little fluff, and then whatever kind of little doodads you might want on it. That's it. So, oh, thank you, Kay. She says I'm a wonderful and creative crafter. I love crafting. I honestly have the best job. I call this a job. Or I do those quote marks because, I mean, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. I mean, I love to craft. Even when I am not planning to go live, pretty much every evening I'm either thinking about a craft for the next day, or I am getting started on a craft for the next day. So, okie dokie. Doing this, or this, or say something to me in the comments. Those things make it slightly more likely that Facebook will show you what I have going on. Do check to make sure you've liked and followed this page. Feel free to sprinkle, especially if you like this idea. I love it. Oops. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions. Okay. See you guys in a little while. Bye. Yeah, my group is free. This page is free, and my craft group, where you can share your pictures and look at other people's pictures, it is also free. I don't think you should have to pay to get crafting ideas. So, okay, now I'm really gonna say goodbye, but I will see you guys later.